Welcome, adventurers! What's going on, guys? My name is Cody. This is Taking 20, a channel about all things role-playing games, and today is day 25 of our 30-day Dungeons & Dragons challenge. Alright, guys, I'm going to get right to the point because I got a fun little story for you. So today's question is, what is your favorite item? What's your favorite plain Jane everyday item in Dungeons & Dragons? And yeah, let's talk about it. Plain, simple, everyday items. Things that come in adventuring kits. Things that people just carry on them. You know, this question may not seem like that fun, that intricate right off the bat, but that is where you are mistaken. Because having great players that come up with fun, creative uses for everyday adventuring items, that is a lot of fun. I know a lot of dungeon masters probably get annoyed, right? When your players are throwing random stuff and doing random things with ladders that you didn't think about. And I think that's the wrong approach, dungeon masters. I know that you got to come up with rules on the fly, but you know what? Reward those guys. Those guys that come up with those rules are so excited to use them in combat. As long as it's not just the everyday, I want to throw a pint of oil and light it on fire. Okay, that gets a little annoying. But the other stuff, man, you got to reward that. That's a lot of fun. So without further ado, let's get into the list because I'm not narrowing this down to one. There's thousands of cool fun items that you can do crazy fun stuff with. So the first one that I want to talk about is the scroll tube. You have the scroll tube. Just pretend it's there. I'm not going to edit it later. That's a lot of work. I'm doing a lot right now, so just pretend. So you take your scroll tube. Now this one annoyed me the first time I saw it, but after like thinking about it for a little bit, I was like, all right, that's clever. Scroll tube, rock, cast light on rock, put rock in scroll tube. You now have a flashlight, which you can quickly cover if you need to. Now, of course, there's a whole bunch of other uses for the scroll tube, but that was one that I particularly found amusing, and one that I actually used this past week in my brother's game to piss him off because he thought that was cheeky. But yeah, scroll tube, rock with light, you got a flashlight. Bag of flour. Yeah, so bag of flowers, tons of fun uses for this. Of course. Throwing it in people's face is always fun. Using it to catch and track invisible enemies, or just to like leave around camp to see if there's footprints, or all kinds of fun uses for bag of flour. And fun fact, bag of flour is something that was used to defeat Crinchinippon. So bag of flour, carry one. Just because I know everybody's gonna say this one, I will say rope. I'm not going to expand on rope. There are thousands of things that are very, very clever that you can do with rope. And they go way beyond just getting somebody to a higher elevation or tying a bad guy up. But yeah, rope, thousands of uses. I just wanted to give a quick shout out to rope because I know if I don't put it in the video, everybody's going to say, hey, dumbass, how about rope? Rope is useful. That's like my favorite item. Well, yeah, of course. Everybody loves rope. Who doesn't like rope? This next one is one of my absolute favorites that I use with all of my characters. All of my characters carries on them a set of manacles. Okay, players, if you've ever gotten exhausted with tying up a bad guy and using up all that sweet, sweet rope, just to find out that your dungeon master is letting them escape and cut their way out of it, yeah, a set of manacles will take care of that problem real quick. So, manacles. Dude, I'm like an infomercial at this point for manacles. Like, I'm like one of those cheesy TV guys. Players, have you ever tied up a bad guy only to return to find that he's escaped and cut through all that sweet, sweet rope? Well, fear no longer, as now manacles will solve all of your problem for restraining your enemies. No longer do you have to use your rope on a dumb bad guy. And at the same time, you can keep your dungeon masters from being cheating bastards. Manacles. Take back control of your game. Okay, and for my last mundane items for Dungeons & Dragons, let me share with you a little tale. Oh yes, children, come gather round, Oliver. I'm going to tell you a tale of the Stalker of Nezra. The Stalker of Nezra is a demon specter that prowls the forests at night looking for poor souls to take. Hiding behind his mask of death, never showing emotion, his eyes empty sockets that peer into your souls. And pray that the gods never cross your paths with this demonic specter, with its empty eyes and black cloak floating in the wind. For it is said that just one touch will send a man screaming in pain to his very grave. And yet, should you encounter the specter, your only hope is that you are not alone, and that you are very much faster than your friends. So the Stalker of Nezra is something that I came up with, or I should say my bard came up with, my human valor bard, Oliver Ridley, came up with. And he would basically go around spreading rumors of this invisible stalker-like specter that was just a floating mask and a black cloak that with one touch could kill you. With one touch, it would kill you. If you see this thing, run away from it because just its touch will kill you. And so I went around spreading all these rumors. If you can't tell how this thing works, in essence, it is... It's an unseen servant that I constantly had up. And so I had an unseen servant up, holding a mask, pulling a cloak over, and that was basically how I used this. And it worked quite well. I loved using unseen servant with these items. So I will say that the mask and cloak are part of my little parlor trick here. And I'm counting that as mundane items because it was a creative use of them. And so, yeah. We would use my butler, my unseen servant. I called him Gerard. There's a Sparta! And so the whole point of this was to trick people, like to trick guards. So if you see two guys guarding a doorway that you and your party are trying to get into, myself as Oliver comes running around the corner screaming, don't let it touch me, don't let it touch me. And then having my unseen servant follow behind. Of course, I let it get close enough and I fall over, pretend to be dead. Have the unseen servant turn and start moving towards the guards. They take off running. So yeah, that's some fun creative use, some fun creative uses of the mask and just a good old-fashioned hooded cloak. So there you go, guys. There are some fun creative uses for everyday plain Jane items in D&D, and I'm sure you guys have a whole heck of a lot more than what I just listed off. So please leave them in the comments. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to read these. We're going to ruin so many D&D games. And I'm not going to apologize for it, Dungeon Masters. We're going to have some fun with it. If this is your first time here and you love role-playing games as much as I do, I'd love to have you subscribe. I'll be putting out new videos every week on DM tips, player tips, tutorials, and more. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, just hit the subscribe button down below and come join us. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Cody, and may your games be filled with awesome memories and even better friends. I'll catch you guys next time.